The galaxy was quiet. For many years, the Great Galactic Council ruled every planet, every star, and every species. There were no wars, there was peace. But everyone knew the peace was not real. It was fear. Fear of the Council's warships. Fear of their armies. No one dared to fight them. The humans were the youngest species in the galaxy, small, weak, and not so advanced. The Council did not fear them. They called them primitives and laughed at their small ships and weak weapons. But everything changed. The day the signal came, it was a cold, dark day in Council headquarters. Floating above the gas giant Eloria Prime, inside the Great Command Hall, hundreds of alien leaders sat together, discussing taxes, trade routes, and new colony laws. Suddenly, alarms screamed across the station. Red lights flashed. Every screen showed one message. Unknown signal detected. Origin, dead space. Sector 12X47, the room fell silent. Dead space. No ships traveled there. It was empty. It was dangerous. A place of lost ships and broken dreams. The council leader, a tall, insect-like creature named Zorvac, stood up. His voice was sharp like blades. "What is this signal?" "Show me," he ordered. A young officer, his hand shaking, played the transmission. The room watched, listened. But it was not a normal signal. It was not a distress call. It was music. Human music. A soft, slow song. In an old human language. But behind the song, they could hear something else. A machine's hum, a warship's systems. And at the end of the signal, two words, "We wait." The leaders looked at each other, confused, angry, afraid, a joke. One of them asked, "A trap." Another whispered, "Zoo." IVACAs glowed. "Send a scout ship. Now, find the source." Within hours, the Council's fastest scout ship, the Whisper, flew into dead space. Cameras recorded everything. Billions across the galaxy watched the live stream. The scout ship reached Sector 12X47. Nothing at first. Only darkness. Empty stars. Broken asteroids floating like ghosts. Then they saw it. A ship. Big, silent, dead. But no one had ever seen a ship like this before. It was dark gray, covered in thick armor, giant cannons pointed in every direction, strange markings on the side, human letters. The camera zoomed in. UN's vengeance, a human warship, but that was impossible. The last human warship disappeared over 100 years ago, lost in the war with the Zillari. Humans had no ships like this anymore, so everyone thought. The scout captain's voice was nervous. "We are approaching the ship." No response. "It looks empty." As the Whisper got closer, the human warship suddenly lit up. Hundreds of blue lights turned on along its hull. Its massive cannons moved. It was alive. The council leaders leaned forward. The galaxy held its breath. The scout captain shouted, "It's powering weapons. Shields up." But before they could react, the screen went black. The signal was lost. Panic spread across council headquarters. News channels screamed breaking news. "Council ship destroyed. Human warship found." The council tried to calm the people. "It's a malfunction. Maybe pirates. Maybe old tech waking up." They lied, but everyone knew something was wrong. In the darkness of dead space, the UN's vengeance remained, floating, watching, waiting for. The first time in years, the council felt fear, real fear, and the galaxy whispered, one human warship. Alone? Against the council? But deep down, everyone knew. Hey, this was only the beginning. The galaxy could not stop talking about the human warship. The news of the missing scout ship spread like wildfire. Every screen showed the same image, the human warship. Floating alone in dead space, its name shining like a ghost. UN's vengeance. The council tried to control the panic. They told people it was an old ship, maybe broken, maybe running on automatic systems. But deep inside, Even the council leaders were scared. No one understood how this ship could still exist. The council's top scientist, Dr. Relvoke, sat in his dark lab, studying every detail of the footage. His 4 eyes moved quickly over the screens. His long fingers typed commands into the computer. "This is impossible," he whispered. The ship's armor, its weapons, its power, all were far beyond what humans should have. Even the Council's best ships didn't have this kind of technology. How did they build this? Relvock asked aloud. But there was something worse. This ship was not new. It was over 100 years old, according to the Council's old war records. The UNS Vengeance disappeared during the Human-Zalari War. It vanished near the border, never seen again. Everyone thought it was destroyed, but here it was, alive. Stronger than ever. Relvock called the council meeting. The leaders gathered in their tall silver hall. The room was filled with tension. Relvock showed them the data. "This ship should not exist," he said. "It is human. It's more advanced than anything we have. Its weapons, its shields, its engines, all are unknown." Council. Leader Zorvak's sharp eyes narrowed. "Explain," he demanded. Relvock hesitated. I believe. The humans didn't build this alone." The room erupted in noise. Leaders shouted. Some laughed. "Humans are weak." One said, "They live in dirt." Another mocked. "They can't build ships better than ours." Relvock slammed his hand on the table. "Then explain this." Played the footage again. The warship's guns powering up, its lights glowing, its shields activating. And there's more, Relvock continued. "I checked human databases. This ship went missing a century ago, but during that time, it never returned to human space. It disappeared into the unknown." Zorvak's voice was cold. "So where has it been all this time?" No one answered. Across the galaxy, fear spread. Merchants avoided dead space. Pirates whispered stories of the ghost ship. Smugglers claimed they saw the ship moving. Hunting. On Earth, the human government remained silent.
Ow.
No statements, no warnings. Only silence until a message arrived. It was short. It came from an unknown source, broadcast to the entire galaxy. "We are not your prey." The council leaders stared at the message. Simple, direct, dangerous. "What does it mean?" one leader asked. Zorvak knew. His claws tapped on the table. "It means they are hunting," he said. The council decided to act. They could not let one human ship destroy their control. They sent a large fleet to dead space. Warships, cruisers, fighters enough to crush any enemy. Billions watched the fleet fly into the dark. The fleet commander, Admiral Travak, was confident. His ships were powerful. His crew was ready. But as they entered Sector 12X47, the darkness swallowed them. The UNS Vengeance was waiting. It did not move, did not hide. It simply sent another message. "We warned you." The council fleet opened fire. Lasers, missiles, plasma, the space lit up like a storm. But the Vengeance survived. Its shields held strong. Its cannons fired back with weapons the council had never seen. Beams of blue energy sliced through. The fleet ships exploded, one by one. Within minutes, it was over. The council fleet gone. The galaxy watched in silence. How? How could one old human ship defeat the council's best fleet? Fear turned into terror. Relvock stared at his screens. His voice shook. "It's not just a ship," he whispered. "It's something more." And far away, in the empty dark, the UN's Vengeance floated. Waiting for its next move, the galaxy now knew this was not just a human ship. This was a ghost, a hunter, a nightmare, and it was only the beginning. The galaxy was quiet again, but this time it was not peace. It was fear. Fear of one ship. Fear of the UNS Vengeance. The Council's strongest fleet had vanished, crushed by one human warship. Billions had watched it happen on live broadcast. No one could believe their eyes, but now they believed. On every planet, people whispered the same words. The humans warned us. Inside the council's headquarters, there was chaos. Leaders argued. Some wanted war. Some wanted peace. Some wanted to run. But one thing was clear. They could not ignore the human warship. Council leader Zorvac stood at the center of the room, his eyes cold as ice. Sharp voice cut through the noise. "This is not a joke," he said. "We underestimated them. We will not make that mistake again." The council made a plan. A bigger fleet, better weapons, elite soldiers. The most powerful warships would strike. This time, Zorvac promised, the UN's vengeance will burn. Across the galaxy, news channels screamed the headlines. Council prepares for full attack. Human warship faces final battle. The vengeance must fall. Billions watched as the fleet gathered. Hundreds of ships, giant destroyers, fast fighters. It was the largest force the council had sent in years. Admiral Zorvel, known as the Butcher of Orion, was in charge. He smiled at the cameras. His sharp teeth glowed. "One human ship cannot stand against us," he said. "This ends now." The fleet jumped to dead space. Sector 12X-47, where the UN's vengeance waited. The council fleet arrived like a storm. Lights filled the darkness. Cannons armed, missiles loaded, but the human warship did not run. It floated alone, silent. Like a predator watching its prey, Admiral Zorvel opened a channel. "Human ship," he growled. "Surrender or be destroyed." No reply. The Admiral laughed. "Fine, you had your chance." The order was given. The council fleet opened fire. The darkness lit up with deadly colors. Lasers, plasma, missiles, all flying towards the human warship. For a moment, everyone thought it was over. But then, something impossible happened. The UN's vengeance moved. It was fast, too fast. Its engines roared like thunder. It dodged the attacks with inhuman precision. Its shields glowed bright blue, absorbing the damage. And then, fought back. The warship's cannons fired strange energy beams. Weapons the council had never seen before. In seconds, the council's first cruiser exploded. Then a destroyer. Then a squadron of fighters. Panic spread through the fleet. Admiral Zorvel shouted orders. "Fall back. Regroup." But it was too late. The UN's vengeance was a ghost in the dark. It vanished from one side and appeared on the other. Its weapons never missed. Its shields never broke. Ship after ship fell. One by one by one. In the council headquarters, leaders watched the live feed. They could not believe their eyes. "This is impossible," one whispered. "How can one ship do this?" Another asked. Zu Arvak's eyes narrowed. "They learned," he said softly. "They adapted." The battle was over in minutes. The council fleet destroyed, only wreckage remained. Floating like dead bones in the dark, the UN's vengeance sent one final message to the entire galaxy. "We warned you. You attacked this. It was your first mistake." The message was short, but its meaning was clear. The humans, or whatever controlled that ship, were not afraid. They were ready. Across the galaxy, people were shocked, terrified. Merchants avoided space routes near the vengeance. Planets near dead space stayed silent. Pirates refused to go near. Sector 12X-47. No. One wanted to be next. On Earth, the human government still said nothing. No messages, no explanations, only silence. And in that silence, the council grew desperate. Inside a secret room, Zorvac met with his top commanders. "We cannot let this continue," he said. The commanders nodded. "What do you suggest?" One asked. Zio Arvak's eyes gleamed. "We find the truth," he replied. "We find out who controls that ship, and we end them." But deep inside, even Zorvac felt something he had not felt in years. Fear. The UNS Vengeance had sent a message. With its weapons, a message the entire galaxy heard loud and clear. The council had made their first strike, but it was also their first mistake. And now, The real nightmare was just beginning. The galaxy was changing. It started with whispers, then fear, and now, complete panic. Every news channel showed the same headline. The human warship still rules dead space. Council fleets destroyed. Planets near dead space abandoned the Council. The UNS Vengeance had done something no one thought possible. Defeated the Council's fleets again and again, alone, without help. People started to ask dangerous questions. Is the Council weak now? Are the humans stronger than we thought? Should we follow the Council or the humans? Merchants stopped trading near dead space. Cargo ships refused to fly close. Pirates who entered Sector 12X47 never returned. Entire planets. Near dead space felt unprotected. They begged the Council for help. But the Council was silent. They were afraid to, in the shadows of the galaxy. Smugglers and bounty hunters told strange stories. The ship moves without sound, one said. It watches from the dark, another whispered. No one sees its captain, they all agreed. Maybe there is no captain. In Council headquarters, fear spread faster than news. The leaders sat in their grand silver hall, their faces pale, their voices low. Council leader Zorvac slammed his hand on the table. This is getting out of control, he said.
Right.
The fear. It's everywhere. His eyes burned with anger. Our fleets are the strongest in the galaxy, he continued. Our armies rule over hundreds of planets, but one ship, one human warship, has made us look weak. The room fell silent. Zorvac was right. No. One dared to fight the UN's vengeance now, but there was something worse. Planets close to dead space were surrendering, not to the humans, not to the Council. They were surrendering to fear the planet. Calrose Prime, with its rich resources, sent a gift to the human warship. A large container filled with rare minerals and gold. A simple message came with it. Please, we mean no harm. Do not destroy us. The UN's vengeance did not reply, but the message was clear. Fear had already won. Other planets followed. Some sent resources, others sent weapons, some even sent slaves, hoping to stay safe. The Council's power was falling apart, and Fast Zorvac's face twisted with rage. They are weak fools, he hissed, giving into a ghost ship, but deep down, even he was afraid. No one had seen the warship's crew. No one had seen its captain. Some believed there were no humans aboard. Others believed the ship was alive, a machine, weapon. A ghost from the old human wars. In secret, Council spies hacked into human communication lines. They searched for answers. Who controlled the UN's vengeance? How was it so powerful? What was the human plan? But they found nothing. Only one hidden message in the human military database. You're already too late. The spies were terrified. They reported back to the Council. There is no information, they said. The humans hid everything. Zorvac clenched his claws. We need more than spies, he growled. We need hunters. We sent for the most feared bounty hunters in the galaxy, assassins, mercenaries, shadows, who killed 4 credits. Their mission, find the truth about the UN's vengeance, and if possible, destroy it. While the hunters prepared, the galaxy watched in fear. Some species quietly respected the humans now. Even without speaking, the UNS Vengeance had sent a message. We are not weak. On Earth, the human government still stayed. Silent. No broadcasts. No answers. Only quiet confidence. But in the dark, something else was happening. The human warship started moving, not far. Not fast, but enough. It drifted closer to Council space. Slowly, like a predator testing its prey. The Council leaders panicked. Prepare more fleets. Arm the planetary defenses. Protect the colonies, but deep inside, everyone knew if the UN's vengeance wanted to strike, nothing could stop it. On distant planets, people began to say dangerous words. The Council cannot protect us. The humans have returned stronger. Maybe we should fear them more than the Council. The Council's power was breaking. Their control was slipping. Their pride shattered, and all because of one ship. One human warship. The UNS Vengeance had not fired a shot in days. It didn't need to. Fear did the work, and the galaxy held its breath, waiting. For what? What happened next? The galaxy called it a ghost ship now. The UNS Vengeance floated in dead space, silent and deadly. It destroyed fleets. It created fear, and yet no one had seen its crew. No one had seen its captain. Some believed it was empty. Others believed it was controlled by a powerful AI. Some even whispered it was cursed. The council had to know the truth, so they hired mercenaries, not ordinary fighters, the best. Bounty hunters, ex-soldiers, cyber-enhanced assassins, cold, professional, and expensive. Their mission was simple: sneak aboard the UN's Vengeance, record everything, and report back. If possible, take control of the ship. It sounded easy on paper, but everyone knew it was a suicide mission. Still, the credits were too good to say no. The team called themselves the Black Fangs. 6 elite fighters with advanced gear, cloaking tech, and hacking tools. Their leader, Captain Jorik, was a tall, scarred human, once a soldier, now a mercenary. He smiled at danger, but even he felt uneasy. This ship shouldn't exist, he muttered as their small stealth shuttle approached the Vengeance. The warship hung in space like a silent beast. Its dark hull looked rough and old, but its deadly cannons gleamed like new. Blue lights ran along its edges, cold and watching. Jorik looked at his team. Stay close. Stay quiet. If we find the crew, don't engage unless I say. The shuttle docked. No alarms. No resistance. The airlock hissed open. They stepped inside. The UNS Vengeance was empty. The halls were dark and cold. The lights flickered weakly. Walls were covered in old human writing. The place smelled of metal and dust, but there were no bodies, no signs of life, only silence. The team moved through the ship, their boots echoing softly. "Where's the crew?" whispered Taro, the tech specialist. "No signs of life on scanners," replied Vex, the sniper. "This place, it feels dead." But Jorik wasn't sure. They reached the main corridor, along the walls were scars, blast marks, scratches, bullet holes, signs of old battles. But how? The ship was gone for 100 years. Who attacked it, and why did it still look new on the outside? Kato hacked into a nearby control panel. "This ship, it's not running on normal human systems," he said, confused. "It's upgraded?" Jorik frowned. "By who?" Taro didn't answer. They continued forward soon. They reached the heart of the ship, the bridge. The door was half open, lights flickering inside. The team moved in, guns ready. The bridge was empty. Almost, the captain's chair stood at the center, covered in dust. But behind the chair, something moved. The team froze. A shadow stepped out. Tall, armored, human. Maybe the figure wore old human military armor, scratched and worn. Its face was hidden under a dark helmet. Blue lights glowed from its visor. Jork raised his weapon. "Who are you?" he demanded. The figure said nothing. The blue visor stared at them. Vex whispered, "No life signs. Our scanners show nothing." Figure took a slow step forward. Taro panicked. It's not human." The figure reached for its belt. Jork shouted, "Don't move." But before anyone could fire, the lights cut out. Total darkness. The air filled with a deep hum. The ship came alive. Emergency red lights flashed. The floor shook. The team heard doors sealing shut, escape routes locking. The voice of the ship's AI echoed through the halls. "You should not be here." Panic spread. Taro tried to override. "The systems, it's locking us in." Jorik fired into the darkness, but the bullets hit nothing. The shadow was gone. Suddenly, screens along the walls lit up. Images appeared, frozen human soldiers inside cryo chambers. Dozens of them waiting, sleeping, and at the bottom of the screen, 2 words blinked. Awakening process. 5% the truth hit them hard. The ship wasn't empty. The crew wasn't dead. They were asleep, waiting, ready to wake up. The team had walked into a trap. The AI spoke again, colder this time. You came for answers. You found them. Now you can die with them. The lights flickered. The floor opened. Drones and defense bots poured out. Blasters charged. Turrets activated. The mercenaries realized it was over. Jorik gritted his teeth. Fall back. We're leaving, but deep down he knew. No one left the UN's vengeance alive without permission as they ran. The crew inside their frozen chambers slowly woke. Their nightmare was just beginning. The council was breaking apart. Their fleets were gone. Their soldiers were afraid. Their spies failed. Even the best mercenaries had disappeared inside the UNS Vengeance. No. One returned. Planets refused to listen to the council now. They whispered about the humans, about their ghost ship, about the frozen soldiers waiting to wake up. Council leader Zorvak had enough. For the first time in his long life, he was truly afraid, but he would never show it. Inside the Dark Council war room, he stood before the galaxy's most dangerous. Killers, bounty hunters, assassins, smugglers, ex-soldiers, monsters in the shadows. These were not ordinary fighters. They were legends, hated and feared across the stars. Zorvak looked at them. The mercenaries failed. Our fleets failed. Now, Hugh will not fail. His voice was cold. You hunt humans, monsters, ghosts, anything. Now, you will hunt the UN's vengeance. One hunter, a tall, red-skinned alien called Krog, laughed. A ghost ship, easy credits. Another, a cybernetic woman named Silva, shook her head. It's not just a ship. It's a message, she said. The humans. They planned this. Zorvak's eyes glowed. Yes, he agreed. The humans, or whatever controls that ship, made us look weak. His voice sharpened. That ends now. The council's plan was ready. It was simple, but deadly. They set a trap, a fake distress signal, a call for help. Ship full of innocent civilians, floating near dead space. UN's vengeance always watched nearby space. If it came to help, the trap would close. Hidden in the shadows, council warships waited, cloaked, armed, silent, ready to strike. The bounty hunters were hidden too. Inside the fake ship, ready to board. The warship, the galaxy watched. But no one knew the full plan, only the council. And the hunters, hours passed. Nothing. More hours, silence. And then it appeared, the UN's vengeance, out of the darkness. It's floating closer. Watching, it did not attack. It did not run. It simply approached. Slow, calm. Dangerous council. Leader Zorvak watched from far away. Wait for my signal, he ordered. The warships remained hidden. The bounty hunters inside the fake civilian ship prepared. Krog loaded his heavy blaster. Silva checked her blades. This is it, she whispered. The UN's vengeance docked with the fake ship. The airlock hissed. Open. The bounty hunters moved fast. They boarded the warship, weapons ready. But it was empty. Dark, cold, silent, just like before. The same old halls. The same blue lights. The same scars on the walls. Krog sneered. Where's the crew? Hiding again? He mocked. They moved deeper. The bridge was close. Suddenly, doors sealed behind them. Trapped. Red lights flashed. The ship's AI spoke. You learn nothing. The bounty hunters aimed their weapons. Silva's eyes narrowed. It knows. On every screen, images appeared. The frozen soldiers were waking. Their eyes opened. Their armor gleamed. The crew of the UNS Vengeance had returned at the same time outside. The council warships decloaked. Their cannons pointed at the human warship. Zorvak smiled. This ends now. He gave the order. Fire. Dot. The warships didn't respond. The control panels were dead. The engines offline. The AI of the UNS Vengeance spoke again. broadcasting to every council ship. We waited. We watched. You stepped into the trap, not us. Panic exploded across the council. Fleet, they tried to escape. Too late, hidden mines activated. EMP, blasts disabled ships. Hackers from the Vengeance had already taken control. One by one, the council warships drifted. Powerless inside the ship, the bounty hunters fought desperately. But the human soldiers, now awake, were trained, angry, ready. Blasters fired. Blades clashed. The hunters fell. Only Silva survived. Barely. Escaping through a maintenance hatch, she floated in space, watching as the UN's Vengeance destroyed the last council ship. Her message to the galaxy was clear. It was never a ghost ship. It was never abandoned. It was a sleeping giant. And now it is awake, across the stars. Fear turned to chaos. The humans had played the galaxy. The UN's Vengeance had returned, with its crew, its soldiers, its purpose. And now, the Council truly had no plan left. The real war was about to begin. The galaxy was no longer laughing at humans. They were no longer ignoring them now. They were afraid. The UN's Vengeance was awake. Its crew had returned. Its soldiers had stepped out of frozen sleep, angry, ready, and dangerous. The councils, fleets were gone. Their traps failed. Their spies vanished. Planets surrendered without a fight. Some sent gifts. Some begged for mercy. Others ran, but there was no place to hide. The humans were not coming in peace. They were not coming for revenge either. They were coming to remind the galaxy of one simple truth. We don't seek war, but we don't fear it. Inside the Council's grand headquarters, fear hung like a cloud. Council leader Zorvac stood alone in the dark chamber. His face was tired, his claws shook. The mighty Council, rulers of hundreds of worlds, now hid like frightened children. The galaxy no longer trusted them. "Where are your fleets?" people asked. "Where's your power?" they demanded. "You promised to protect us, but you can't even protect yourselves." Zorvac knew the truth. The UNS Vengeance had broken the Council without firing a single shot in months. It simply floated from one system to another. Its presence alone made colonies surrender. Pirates fled. Smugglers turned their ships away. And now, Earth had finally spoken. The message came through every screen on every planet, in every language. For 100 years, you ignored us. You called us weak. You called us primitive. You forgot. We learn, we evolve, and now we return. Human presidents stood tall on the broadcast behind him. Hundreds of warships hovered, new ships built in secret, more advanced than ever. The UNS Vengeance was only the beginning. The real human fleet had arrived. Zorvac's claws tightened. "We underestimated them," he whispered. "The humans had vanished for a century. But during that time, they didn't grow weaker. They became stronger, smarter, more dangerous. The Vengeance was their warning. The new fleet was their answer. Across the stars, the balance of power shifted. Old alliances broke. New deals were made in the shadows. Many species quietly reached out to Earth, offering friendship or surrender. No one wanted to face the humans alone in dead space. The UN's Vengeance led the fleet. Its captain, Commander Elias Voss, stood on the bridge. His eyes were sharp, his uniform old, but his will unbroken. For him and his crew, only days had passed since the old war. But for the galaxy, a century had changed everything. The Council thought the Vengeance was lost, but it had survived, upgraded by human scientists in hidden labs, improved by AI systems that learned and evolved. Now Voss and his soldiers were awake, and their mission was clear: protect Earth, show strength, remind the galaxy. Humans are not prey. As the fleet moved toward Council space, thousands of messages flooded in. Some begged for peace, others threatened war. But Commander Voss only smiled. "Let them. Fear us," he said. It keeps them honest. The Vengeance glided ahead of the fleet like a silent predator. The galaxy watched and trembled. The council had one last meeting, their faces pale, their words uncertain. "Do we fight?" one asked. "Do we surrender?" Another whispered, "Do we run?" Sorvax's eyes were empty. "It doesn't matter," he admitted. They already won. The council's power was broken. The galaxy's fear was real. The humans were back, and now even the council feared them. The last message from Earth echoed across space. "We gave you peace. You brought us war. Now you deal with us." With that, the humans claimed their place among the stars, not as weaklings, not as prey, but as hunters, warriors, survivors the galaxy would never forget. The UNS Vengeance became a legend, ghost ship, a warning, and the simple truth echoed everywhere. One human warship terrified the galaxy. Now even the council fears us. The humans had returned, and this time, they were here to stay.